Hello all you beautiful people, how you doing today? This is Lava Temptress and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome, hi! So today we're going to be talking about the ME system from Applied Energistics. We're going to go over the basic ones, what you need to set it all up. And then we will go over some of the recipes to get everything that you need to set this up, and even some of the cool blocks that Applied Energistics adds that I did not go over in the overview because it slipped my mind. So first of all, we're going to look at the setup, and then I'll go over the recipes because I know some of you just want to see what you need for the basics. So for a basic ME controller, first of all, for the ME setup, first of all, you need a controller, a drive, and you will have to have at least one drive in here. You can do a 1K, but I put the different kinds in here. You will need multiples of this Flux ME glass cables. That's what you need to connect everything. There are different ones you can do later, but to just start off, this is the one that you're going to use. You will need some kind of terminal. This is the basics terminal. Of course, there is the crafting one too, but this is the basic one that you will have to get started in order to see what is in your system. Then you're going to need a charger, and you will need that to get charge crystals. This you could wait for a little bit. It depends if when you're mining you find the charge crystals. So that one could possibly wait for just a little bit. But you will need an inscriber because this is how you're going to make a lot of the pieces, as I will show you in just a minute, in order to craft the rest of the pieces. So that's going to be very important. And it does have to be connected to power, which you can just connect to the system. If the system is connected, see how these blocks, how I have them all connected together? That's because if they're connected together or connected by a cable, then that powers them. Now, in order to do that, you will need an energy acceptor. And well, depending if you have different types of energy, but you're going to need some kind of energy cell to store power. So this one I've put the dense energy cell. Of course, you can do the regular energy cell. Because I did not add other mods, I do not have power at the moment. So I just used the creative energy cell, but you'll use whatever it is you're using with power, because typically you would use this with some other mod that has power, but because I didn't want to go into using a specific mod, I just used the creative energy cell for this. But you will need that. Other option is you can directly connect your power to the energy acceptor, again depending on what kind of mod you're using. But this is the basic pieces you're going to need, and of course the quartz grindstone with the crank handle. Now the quartz grindstone, you're going to grind up either the Certus quartz ore or the fluid crystals or whatever, and then you're just going to turn the handle in order to grind it. Now the fabulous thing with the ore is it will give you 2, and it does take a minute. There we go. See, it'll give you 2 per each ore, which is nice. But we're going to need that for a lot of different recipes, including how to make more of both the quartz seeds, because that'll give us more. So if you use it's sand and quartz dust, and that'll give you the quartz seeds. And as you can see, it doubles it, so it'll give you 2, which is nice because then it doubles what you have. Of course, you can throw it in here, or if you saw on my overview, you can create one of these and put it in there, but that's later. But to start off with, you're just going to drop it in a pool of water. It will take a while, so just be aware of that. Okay, now to get silicone, you're going to cook this dust. So any of the things that you grind, the nether quartz, you can also put in the grindstone and grind them, or the Certus dust. And so for that, we are going to use for the inscribers. Now, I set the inscribers up a couple different ways because I wanted you to see that automation is not very feasible unless you have AE extras or whatever, AE plus I think it is, because then there's an advanced subscriber. You can automate it a little bit. So for this one, of course, I have our chest here that we could put stuff in. This is what I've put in. So we have the printed silicone and we have the printed logic circuits. But the problem is, you can see it's not putting the printed silicone circuits in here. So then if you put it from the side, it's still not going in. And if you put it from the back, it's still not going in. I even tried to put redstone. Now the redstone dust will go in from there. But the problem is, there is really no way other than clicking this in here to get the inscriber to work. I do not have this hooked up to power. If I destroy this and do like so, it will be connected to power and go. But without clicking it in there, so now it chooses to go in there, it only puts in these two slots. It, for some reason, it just will not put something into this bottom slot here. And as you can see, even though these are not the proper slots, it's just putting them in anywhere. So it's crazy. And I know it's a pain in the butt, but automating it is really not feasible. Now, the other thing you can do, like what I did here, is, whoops, picked up our seeds. They're at 12%. Okay, so the other thing you can do is you can put whatever it is that you're wanting it to create. Now this is where you're going to do the inscriber calculate, you know, whatever press it is you're trying to do. And so I have it set up with different ones. This one you would put a diamond in, and if you shift click it in, it'll make it, and it'll make the different ones. So the logic, you put gold in and it gives you the logic circuit, and the silicone, which I showed you how to make with the silicone press, makes the printed silicone. But then you have to combine them in order to make the chips. So there's different kinds of chips, and so we have the engineering, the calculator, and the logic processor, and that's going to depend on what you're trying to make, which one you want. So what you're going to do is, again, that one you have to shift click in last. I don't know why it does that. Redstone typically goes where it's supposed to go, but if we start clicking these in here, redstone, I don't know, it's very tricky, but if you do it in the certain way and put the redstone last, it'll click in and go to the right place. Whereas if you try to do the redstone first or the silicone first, it doesn't put them in the right order. Don't know why that is. It's just a bug they have, but if you do it in that order, it will process them. And so, like for instance here, as long as you do the dust last. So you're just going to put the different ones in. This one will always go up on top. The redstone will go here in the middle, and the silicone always goes at the bottom. So what's going to change is, depending which chip you're trying to make, you're going to use whichever one of these. All right, so let's get looking at some recipes, because how do we even get the logic press? Now, I did go over this in the overview, but I didn't have any of the recipes. So if you need to, you can skip this part. I am putting things in here, so you can skip this part if you want to. All right, so we need a meteorite compass, and that is how we find. Now I already have one marked, and it's over there, so I'm just going to quickly go to it. But basically what you're going to do is, when you make the meteorite compass, and the recipe is 4 iron with a charged, it has to be the charged Certus quartz crystal in the middle. So to make this, and then you're just going to go in the direction that it points. So obviously it's pointing to a different one that I haven't even gone to, but it says there's one right here. What? And as you can see here, there's the charged ore. It just spawns. Sometimes these do spawn depending on the pack. They do spawn underground, which is the only reason I'm searching underground right now. Because it says there's a meteor here, but Clearly, we don't see one. I don't know. Well, I don't think that's meteor. We're down to bedrock. Okay, so then why is this going nuts? It is not supposed to go nuts unless there's an actual meteor here. So let's fly up. It could just be buggy right now because I have everything put out. All right, well, let's go over to see where the one is. Meteor. So here is what the meteors look like. And as you can see, it's usually easy to tell, like if you have some kind of map on, you can usually spot it because it's a big, well, not big so much on the map, but it's a black circle in the middle of a destruction area. And so as you can see on the map here, if I hide our waypoint here, if we hide the waypoint here, which you can turn it off, then you can see on the map, it'll be that black circle. And if we look, now you can see in the mini map, it's just a black circle with a destruction area around it. So that's what it's going to look like. And then of course you have to dig down. I already did this because I did it for the overview, but you dig down to the middle and it has stuff in the middle. So you usually have to find at least 2 of these in order to find all the presses that you need. But that is how you find them. You can even take up the skystone chest and take it with you because it looks kind of cool. Okay, so that's how the meteor compass works. All right, so next we're going to need the quartz grindstone. So for that, I didn't do this one, but for the stone gear, you're just going to put 4 sticks together like so. So you're going to have that up top with 3 stone and 3 of the Certus quartz. It does not have to be the charged ones, and 2 cobblestone, and that makes our quartz grindstone. And then we need the crank handle, which is just 5 stick in this pattern here. And then what you do is when you place it down, you just put this, you click it onto it and it places it on top of it. It does break, but only if you're sitting here continuing to turn it when there's nothing in it for it to turn. So that's the only time it will break. Normal wear and tear, I've never had it break. So next for the charger, we're going to need 3 iron here, 2 iron here, and 2 flux crystals. Now the flux crystals, how are we going to make those? Well, if we look at the recipe, it doesn't even tell you, and it's kind of confusing. And that's why sometimes I don't go off JEI because people don't understand it. Trust me, I've messed it up times. So this is what you're going to do. Drop a charged Certus quartz, a nether quartz, and a redstone dust into a puddle, and each one will give you 2 flux crystals. So let me demonstrate. Okay, so I got them here in the hotbar, and it has to be the charged one. So if you have the regular quartz, that's when you're going to put it into the charger to charge it, and I'll demonstrate that again. But you're just going to drop them each into the puddle, and once you have all 3 in, unless it just wants to pop back up, back away and you'll see it do its thing. Oh, the nether quartz popped back up too. Let's see if we can. There we go. And so then it will give us 2. So that's how you do that. All right, next we need the inscriber. So we're going to need 5 of the iron ingots, 1 of the flux crystals, and 2 sticky pistons. And each one will make you 1 inscriber. I like to have multiples because I like to have the presses in each one. Plus, I like to have 1 available to make whichever type of processor that I'm trying to make. Now these I did put acceleration cards on, and we will go over that. Otherwise, they are a tad bit slower. So like for instance, if we do it in this one versus if we do it in this one, see how much faster that one went? You can tell on the side how fast it goes, but yeah, with it, definitely the acceleration cards makes it a lot better. Anyway, very tongue-tied today. Whoa. But this is what you need for each one. So for the calculator, you'll have to make the printed calculator. And then of course it's just redstone dust and printed silicone for each one. That is what I was trying to show you there. But this is what you need. If you ever need to, just pause the video, screenshot any of this, and hopefully that helps. Or if you have questions, definitely leave them down below. I don't mind answering. All right, now the energy acceptor, for that we're going to need 4 iron ingots, 4 quartz glass, and a flux crystal. Now the quartz glass, I did not put out here because I made the recipe up here. So the quartz glass is going to be 5 of those Certus quartz dust and 4 glass. And it does make 4 per recipe, so it's kind of nice. That we're going to go over the drives. All right, so we're also going to need this glass and nether quartz dust, which again, you just put nether quartz in the grindstone and grind them up. And that's going to give us quartz fiber. Well, then we take the quartz fiber with 2 flux crystals, and that will give us the flux ME glass cables. And that's what you need to connect things together. Then we need the controller. So for that, we're going to need 4 skystone blocks, 4 pure crystal, and an engineering processor. Okay, so for the pure flux, you're going to drop the seeds. Remember I told you you can make the seeds. Well, just like this recipe, and we drop the seeds in here, you're just going to, instead of using the quartz dust, you're going to use the flux dust. Well, to get the flux dust, you're going to have to put flux in the grindstone and grind it up, and that will give you the flux dust. Again, this does take a little bit. With other mods, there's ways to grind it faster, but with just AE, this is the only way to do it. So, see how it stopped right there? If you keep going after that, that's when it breaks. But see, it'll give you 2 flux dust. So then that's how you make the pure crystals. Now the skystone block, let's go take a look over here, because the skystone block, the skystone is what you're going to get from the meteors. And that is this here, but you can also make stairs and slabs out of it, and you make it in the regular way, and you can even make the chest, which, like I said, you get one in the meteors, but you can also make more if you really like them. But you're just going to cook the skystone, and it'll make these skystone blocks, and that's what these look like. And you can also make stairs and slabs with those too. And then of course, I don't know why that's in there, but then you can also make bricks by putting it just in your crafting grid, and it'll turn it into bricks. And then if you want the small brick, you just put it back in your crafting grid and you get the small brick. And again, each variation has stairs and slabs that go with it, so it makes it very nice and gives you lots of different crafting things with it. Since we're already over here, you also get the Certus quartz. You can turn into blocks, and that's what the blocks look like. And then you can also make stairs and slabs like so, and it only takes 4, which is nice. If you put them up and down, 2 together up and down, it makes the pillar, which are these. They look very nice. You can also do stairs and slabs, but I don't know, I just don't like the tops of these, but maybe that's just me. It could work, but it's not my favorite. And then if you put 2 side by side, it actually gives you the chiseled Certus quartz. And that's what this looks like, which is very nice, kind of a techie feel to it. And again, you can make stairs and slabs with it. All right, so let's go back over here, take a look at here. All right, next we need the ME drive, and that's going to be 4 iron, 2 of the flux ME cables, and 2 of the engineering processors. Next, we'll need an energy cell, and again, if you're doing a different mod, you can use different energy, power, batteries, whatever. But for this one, the energy cell, it's going to be 4 Certus quartz crystals, 4 flux dust, and a quartz glass. Then to turn it into the dense, you're going to need 8 of those with a calculation processor in the middle, and that'll turn it into the dense energy cell. And if you look at them, you can see the dense one holds 1.6 MAE, which is the AE power. And then the regular one holds 200 KAE. So not quite as much. All right, next we have, we need the formation core. So that's going to be a Certus quartz crystal, flux dust, and logic processor. Then we're going to need the annihilation core, and that is the logic processor, flux dust, and nether quartz. And we need these to create our terminal. So next we're going to need the illumination panel, and that's going to be 3 quartz glass, 2 glowstone dust, a redstone dust, and an iron ingot in the pattern like so. Next, we're going to combine the illuminated panel, the formation core, the logic processor, and the annihilation core, and they do have to be in that order. And that's going to make our ME terminal. Now again, I showed you the ME terminal, but you can also turn it into the crafting terminal. So to do that, you just need a crafting table and calculation processor. I highly recommend it because this is the difference. This is the terminal, which all you can do is access and get stuff out of your storage system. However, the crafting one, you can still access everything, but it also has a crafting grid, and it'll pull whatever you need. If it's in your storage, it'll pull it when you put the recipe here, like if you pull it from JEI, or you can just put it in here manually and craft your items there. So I do recommend the crafting terminal, but you do not have to have that. All right, so next for the advanced cards, acceleration cards, because those, I showed you the difference. You're definitely going to want them when you're sitting here making a whole bunch of these. So to make 2 of the advanced cards, you're going to need 3 iron ingots, a calculation processor, 2 diamonds, and a redstone dust. To turn each one into the acceleration card, you're going to want the advanced card and 1 flux crystal. And as you can see, these can be used in multiple things, but first and foremost, you definitely want them in the inscriber, which is why we're doing them. All right. Next, we have something that is actually kind of cool. And this is an ME chest. And we're going to make this because we're going to make the portable cell. So for this, we're going to need another one of the ME terminals, 2 glass, 2 flux ME cables, 2 iron ingots, and a flux crystal. So this creates a portable system that you can actually take with you. It only holds 1K, and it does need power, which is also the other reason you need the charger, because if I click it in there, as long as it has power to the system, you can see that the power is going up and it will fully charge it. So that's how you power it. But it makes it so you can take stuff with you. It's kind of like a backpack, a bag, you know, all the different types of ways to take stuff with you. But the nice thing about this one is you can search for whatever you want. You know how we dig through bags and try to look for everything. So that one makes it much more superior to the rest. So that's for the ME chest. And then for the turn it into the portable storage, you're going to need the ME chest, a 1K storage component, and an energy cell. And that will make our portable cell. Now it does not have, you cannot do it with higher ones, but you could make multiples. Nothing is stopping you from making multiples. So that makes it come in quite handy. I could even put all the stuff in there because now I'm not using it. And we could easily see what we need just by searching for it, which is awesome. And allows me to clear out my inventory, which is fabulous. As you can see, it is full. And so if you look at it now, it'll say it only holds 27 types of items. That means each different item is a type. However, if you have one type of item, it also holds like a stack of each item. But if you have more than one stack of each item, it'll also hold a second stack. It will just count it as a second item. Let me get rid of this weather here real quick. There we go. All right. So now we need to know how to make the storage drives though. So we already went over the quartz glass. So to make an 1K ME storage component, and if you're going to make the higher ones, you're going to need a lot of these. So fair warning. But to make that, you're going to need 4 of the charged Certus crystals. And those do have to be charged, a logic processor, and 4 redstone dust. Now, if you want to put it into the storage housing, which is how you put it into the ME drives here, it has to be in a storage housing. To do that, you're going to do it one of 2 ways. Now, I only laid this out once because this version, you're only going to change out which component, what size component is here. So it's going to be 2 quartz glass, and as you can see, it's the same here or here. So there's 2 different ways. So you can have the storage component in the middle with this recipe, the 3 redstone and the 3 iron, and that will make the 1K. Or you could do it without the storage component in the middle, and it'll make the storage housing, which is kind of nice sometimes because you can pre-make them. And then you just combine the storage component with the housing. Now, it is not available in this one, but in some versions, in some packs, you can actually right-click or shift right-click. Oh, it did work now. So shift right-clicking removes the component from the storage. Why would you want to do that? Because if you're upgrading and you no longer need that size, you can take the housing out and then apply the housing to the other one that you want. All right, so let's get into the bigger ones. So for the 4K, you're going to need 3 of the 1K storages, a calculation processor, 4 redstone dust, and a quartz glass. And that will make the 4K storage component. And again, if you just combine this in your crafting grid with this, or do the other recipe, that will make the 4K drive. Okay, so next we have the 16K drive, and that is 3 of the 4Ks, 4 glowstone dust, the quartz glass in the middle, and a calculation processor. Now, to make the 64, which is the highest in this pack, but there is AE plus that adds higher ones. So you're going to need 3 of the 16Ks and 4 glowstone dust, quartz glass, and the calculation processor to make the 64K. Like I said, if you're just using applied Energistics 2, then the 64K is the highest one, but you can also make multiples because the drive holds 10. Okay, so then, now these are for items. The next ones are for fluids. So you're going to replace whatever the recipe is with lapis. And then for the drive, you're going to still do it the same way and just put the thing in the middle. So that's the only difference, but I just wanted to show you. And then, of course, it has the different types in the fluid version as well. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Again, this is for the basic one. The next one I'm going to do, we're going to go over P2P, excuse me. And that's going to be how to set up the different channels with your ME, and also how to do it'll be how to do the bigger cables as well. So that'll be coming out soon. But here we go. This is how you need it. This is a very simple setup and shouldn't take too long. But this will get you going and make it so your storage is much more compact and easier to access. Because again, you can search for what you need, which makes it fabulous. I always rush as fast as I can to try to get my ME set up. All right, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And if not, I just want to say thank you for being here. Hopefully this helps you out. I know I struggled in the beginning when I was learning all this stuff, so we've all been there. All right, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so you can see when all the new videos come out. And maybe even a live stream. All right, until next time, this is Lava Temptress. Don't get burned. Bye!